We're talking today about this landmark conviction of Sajjan Kumar, who was an MP at the time of the 1984 anti-Sikh riots. He's been jailed for life after being found guilty of inciting crowds to kill Sikhs. What's your reaction to this, and how much faith do you have in India's justice system going forward? 081869. Let's speak to Sukh Singh now, who's the press officer for Sikh Association. Sukh, what's your reaction to this? Is this a positive step forward? Is this something that you have been waiting for so long?
I mean, it's a positive step forward in the sense that, it's one conviction. But the idea of justice isn't confined to just one conviction from one court. And this one conviction doesn't answer many, many questions that victims and their families and their friends still have.
What do you mean by this? Could you just go into this a little bit further for me? Do you feel that there needs to be more done now? Surely this is a good step to start with, which can now then be explored.
I mean, justice delayed is justice denied for a lot of people. How many family members, how many family members of victims have passed away in the 34 years it has taken to get to this step?
I understand.
Can be done for them now.
In the case of this, though, it was 5 male members of Jagdish Kaur's family were brutally killed 34 years ago. And she told reporters it's a little balm applied after a long time to our scars. At least one high-profile accused will now go to jail. Can you see where Jagdish is coming from there? That, yes, this is 34 years too late, but as she's put it so eloquently, it's still a little balm that can be applied.
There should be more than a little balm that's applied. This was genocide, and I must agree with Pav here that this was genocide, and I know the BBC has their own conventions about
well, it's not the BBC's convention, sure, it's the UN's, but I know a lot of people share your thoughts on this, but carry on.
The evidence is overwhelming that the acts were intending to destroy in part or wholly even a religious group, and that constitutes a genocide. It's prima facie a genocide. And I think, that it needs to be incumbent on everybody to accept that responsibility of when they're discussing it, whether they're an organisation.
Can I ask you a question? Clearly, you're allowed your opinion here, Sukh, but what I want to know from you is, regardless of whether the UN calls this a genocide or not, the fact is that more than 3,000 Sikhs died. So it's still terrible. You can still say, look, this is something that more than 3,000 Sikhs died. It's awful. Why does it need to be called a genocide for you? Why does that matter for you so much?
Well, the main point about calling it a genocide as opposed to riots is to emphasize how systematic it was, how driven and coordinated it was. These weren't just sporadic killings. The idea of riots conjures up people acting on their own intentions, acting in a very loose and disorganized way. And this wasn't the case at all. To be able to kill that many people in that small space of time required coordination at a senior level. And so, the court said today that Sajjan Kumar did evade justice due to political patronage. And I think people need to realise that the only way this could have happened in the first place is if there were people of political patronage actually directing it and orchestrating it. That's why the use of the word genocide is important.
Okay, thank you for answering that question for me there. So can I ask you now then about how much faith you have in India's justice system? Do you think that going forward, this is going to be the start? Do you think this is going to be now the start to more convictions and a more transparent judicial system?
I mean, I have absolutely no idea, and I wouldn't hold my breath, and I echo what a lot of people have said before, that, many Sikhs that I have spoken to have absolutely zero confidence in the Indian justice system. In fact, even calling it a justice system implies that there's some sort of system. This is one conviction by one court. The idea of a justice system means that justice needs to prevail at a systematic level across many courts, across a very large swathe of the land. And we don't see that at the moment. The lady from Scotland brought up the case of Jagdish Singh Johar, and I think that is an excellent point in demonstrating that so long after, this isn't a case of time has stopped since then. This is still ongoing, and there are even British citizens today in India who are lost in that system.
81869, do you agree with Sukh Singh there? Do you feel that no lessons are being learned? Do you have any faith in India's justice system? I'd like to hear from you. 03459 440 445. And I'm going to put something else out there for you, okay? We're going to come to Kirat Raj Singh in a moment, but what I want to come to you is, what I want you guys to answer now as well is this. South Africa's Truth and Reconciliation Commission is often held up as a model of how a country can move on from its recent history. And we all know what we're talking about when it comes to South Africa with apartheid here. So what can be done in India to heal the troubles of the past? I'd like to know what you think, what you would suggest here. What can be done in India to heal the troubles of the past? Get in touch with your suggestions, 81869, or give me a ring, 03459 440 445. Let's speak to Kirat Raj Singh. Pav Singh and Sukh are still here. Pav, Sukh, please listen in to Kirat. If there's anything you'd like to contribute and add, please do so. But let's speak to Kirat Raj Singh first of all. Thank you very much for your patience there, Kirat. How much faith do you have in India's justice system following this conviction of Sajjan Kumar then?
First of all, thank you very much for having me. Hi, Pav. Hi, Sukh. Great contributors to the show so far. Like to your question, it is, like I agree with what Sukh has said previously before, it is hard to have that confidence, but I personally believe that this is a step in the right direction. When it comes to the three executives of the Indian government, whether that's the parliament, the government, or the judiciary, it's the judiciary that we had the most hope from. Even Mrs. Jagdish Kaur, who was the prime witness, H.S. Fulka, who's been the advocate, who's been fighting these cases for the last 34, 35 years, they've continued to pursue these cases because they had hope that the judiciary would give them justice. Justice has been denied over and over again. But today, the main cause of relief and celebration is not the fact of the conviction, but it's purely because of the judge has accepted that there was political patronage, there was a systematic killing. This is something that justice has been denied. And it's important to reassure the people of India that even despite the challenges that have been meted out to the victims, that truth will prevail. Now, tomorrow, if Sajjan Kumar was to die and he never spends a day in jail, that ruling, that court of law ruling by the judge, is victory for the Sikh community, who has been trying to systematically say that this is what happened with us, this is what the Sikh community suffered in 1984, and that is written in a court of law, so that holds a lot more weight to it. What does that mean for the Sikh community? Yes, personally, I do believe that this will be a step in the right direction, that I hope to see Jagdish Tytler, who is another prime accused, be convicted for crimes against the Sikh community for the genocide that occurred in 1984.
He was accused, Kirat, yes. What I've written down here about what you've said here is something that you said there, which is truth will prevail. And if there's anything else that we can take away from this, it's the fact that for 34 years, people have been trying to have their pain, try to have their wounds, and trying to have what happened accepted. And this shows truth will prevail. Sukh, I'm going to come to you on this, and Pav, I want your thoughts as well. Does this show that truth will prevail? And actually, rather than looking at this in the side of, look, this is taken too long, which we, lots of people are saying, but it's also showing that truth will prevail regardless of how long it takes.
I mean, I think I need to echo what Pav said earlier, in that it's been 34 years. In that time, how much evidence has been lost? This was, in the days before social media, a lot of it was reliant on eyewitness accounts. Many of those eyewitnesses would have passed away by now. So I don't think we can ever have 100% truth or 100% justice. It's just simply been far too long.
I also agree with the earlier comment that there should be a Truth and Reconciliation Commission, like there was in South Africa, but we need justice with that as well. So I don't know if many of your callers would know, but it wasn't just Sajjan Kumar or another leader, it was the entire Delhi leadership of the Congress Party who was involved.
Kirat, what do you make of that?
Well, I would even say that there is other leaders outside Delhi. So one of the Congress chief ministers of Madhya Pradesh, who's just been crowned the chief minister, was a prime accused as well.
Let's not single people. Well, clearly, we don't want to go down that route so far. Let's keep it general, if that's okay. But Kirat, what do you make of what they're saying about, look, this isn't about simply just truth will prevailing. This is about overhauling a system.
This is an overhaul system, so there has to be political will for it as well. But there needs to be, I do take what's the word? There's a light at the end of the tunnel, I guess. I do take some balm from the fact that the judiciary system has done its role. Now, whether the government and parliament I wouldn't give that credence. I wouldn't say I give a lot of support to politicians. But for the judiciary to come out and stand out, it's a step in the right direction. And I think we need to move alongside with that and say, right, we've got one conviction. How do we move on to the next? How do we ensure that other victims can come forward? Yes, I agree 100% justice is probably going to be very, very hard to achieve because of the time frame that has passed. But it's definitely a step in the right direction, and we need to move alongside with that.
Thank you very much for your time there, all of you, Pav, Kirat, Sukh.